Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah. Welcome to Deeds in 60 Seconds. SubhanAllah, 16 fasts have already gone, or maybe it's 15 depending on the day that you started. So, this part of Ramadan, the middle part of Ramadan, is the time where we generally tend to slack a little bit. So, I'm going to share with you 3 things that if we do in this middle section of Ramadan, it will help us to maintain the momentum for the last 10 nights of Ramadan. So, the first thing is to encourage us to pray the Fajr and the Isha prayer with the Jama'ah. Why? Because the Prophet told us that when we pray the Isha prayer with the Jama'ah, it's as though we have prayed half the night. And when we pray the Fajr prayer with the Jama'ah, it is the equivalent of the remaining half of the night. So you could pray the whole night in Ibadah by praying your Isha with Jama'ah and your Fajr with Jama'ah, and you can go home and sleep. So that for me is a very crucial thing, and it will definitely help you in the last 10 nights of Ramadan, especially when it could be Laylatul Qadr. And if you do that one thing, then inshallah you will catch this night in your book of good deeds. So that's the first thing. The second thing is to maintain the dhikr that we do. So one thing that's very easy is to recite Surah Ikhlas, to say Qul Huwa Allaahu Ahad, Allahu Samad, all the way to the end. And the Prophet told us that reciting this once is equivalent to 1/3 of the Qur'an. So if we recited it 3 times, we would get the reward as though we recited the whole Qur'an. Now what you do is, as you go for Tarawih, you recite this 3 times. You go, you listen to the Qur'an being recited, and on your way back, you recite it again. So this becomes a habit. So you attach it to something that you're doing in the day, so you automatically say it. And in the day, you will have the reward as though you recited the Qur'an twice, from beginning to the end. And in a month, that will equate to 30 days, to being 60 times that you've recited the Qur'an, or you'll get the reward as though you recited 60 times. Does it mean you don't read Qur'an? No, it doesn't. You still have to do that, but this is to encourage us to remember Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala through dhikr. So number 1 is to keep the Fajr and Isha prayer with the Jama'ah. Number 2 is to maintain the level of dhikr. And number 3 is to set a time in the day where you recite Qur'an. So Ramadan is the month of the Qur'an, and we always think, I'm going to recite so much, I'm going to recite this part of the Qur'an, that part of the Qur'an, I'm going to set myself a target. What you do is you set yourself a time. So let's say, for example, I set myself 9 p.m. every day, I'm going to recite some Qur'an. So I don't have to think about it. As soon as it's 9 o'clock, I'm reciting Qur'an. So these are the 3 things, right? The first one is the Fajr and Isha with the Jama'ah. The second one is the dhikr of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. The third one is to set yourself a time in the day where you're going to recite Qur'an. If you maintain these 3 things, the middle part of Ramadan will set you up nicely for the last 10 nights. So Jazakallah khair for listening.